creating and using the advising syllabus. My name is Arturo Elizondo Jr., and I'm an academic advisor in the School of Engineering and Computer Science at the University of Texas at Dallas. So what is an academic advising syllabus? Well, the National Academic Advising Association, or NACADA, says that advising is a teaching and learning process. So an advising syllabus is actually similar to a course syllabus, and it has contact information, learning objectives, resources, required text, things like that on it. So what are the benefits of having an advising syllabus? Well, for students, it helps them to understand how advisors define advising. It puts clear expectations and pertinent advising information in a familiar format. Can support students' active engagement in their education, and helps counter inappropriate expectations. And that's really key because they may think that advising is one thing, but it may not be necessarily what your unit thinks advising is. For advisors, it allows us to hold ourselves and our advisees accountable for the appropriate parts of the advising relationships. Again, expectations of them, expectations of us. It allows us to carve a place for advising in the student's education. Again, we are a supplement to their academic classroom learning. Helps us create an understanding that advising is essential to the education and the success of our students. Can lead to important explorations and questions about the role of advising in the unit or school, and encourage us to write and commit to an advising philosophy and the definition of our work. Again, helps us to clarify what our role is in the grand scheme of the school. For parents, it clearly explains what they can and cannot expect from their child's advisor. Again, it helps with some parents because they see the advisors as someone who can keep track of their student, keep tabs on them, and be a second parent. And this helps to clarify some of those expectations as well. For faculty administration, it allows individual advisors or offices to outline the advising relationship and experience for their advisees, and also helps set clear expectations and learning objectives for both advisee and advisor. Can help the faculty to see what part we play in the students' learning, as well as shows them that we can be partners with them. Now the process. I say don't reinvent the wheel. There are a lot of resources out there that you can take advantage of. For example, in the NACADA website, there is a collection of advising syllabuses that have already been created by other universities. That is a good place to first start with your process. Start and find. And so a couple considerations, actually, let me go there, is select schools that are similar to your institution in size, structure, etc. Are you decentralized? Are you centralized? What type of things are you responsible for? So find syllabuses of schools that are similar to you. And read through these examples and consider how each piece could fit into your idea of a syllabus. So what pieces do you like? What pieces don't you like? So take what's already there and combine them to create your own thing. But there are a couple elements that you must make sure you keep. First element is clear contact information, of course. Also a 3 to 5 sentence definition of advising and the advising mission statement used on campus. Student expectations and advisor expectations. What to expect of them, what they can expect of us. The expected outcomes of advising, or why does it matter to your students? What do they get out of advising? Tools, resources, or recommendations for students. So student code of conduct, the catalog, those type of things. And the general format should be relevant to your specific campus, office, or advising philosophy, and also adhere to the core syllabus guidelines used by campus faculty. Again, by sticking to what the faculty are required to put into their syllabus, we'll make sure that the students see this as a syllabus and provide a common link with their classroom learning. Now, some important considerations. You have to look at what will work best for your institution. Who are your stakeholders and what are their opinions? It's important that you take all those into consideration. Next process is the editing process. The editing process can take 2 or 3 rounds as all opinions are considered and reconsidered. What we did in our office is we looked at different samples and we started putting together. And in staff meetings, we would read through, someone would take notes, and we'd retype it and come back again. I think in our office we took 4 staff meetings to actually come up with a syllabus that we were all happy with from it. So you can see this on the second page, and when I talk about not reinventing the wheel, this is actually comes from a different university from us, the University of Texas at San Antonio. But we really like this timeline that they put in there, things that students should know and should complete at the end of every academic year. And so again, you can see that we started writing down our own notes of what's common and what pertains to us from it. So how do we disseminate the information? Well, the first question we had to ask ourselves is, do we go ahead and give out to all of our students, or do we just start with our incoming freshmen? And we decided we were going to start with our incoming freshmen. Not that we didn't have the same expectations for our current students, but it was just easier to start with our current freshmen. The next thing we had to decide was, is it a contract? A course syllabus, in a way, is a contract because you have to complete the assignments in order to get the grade that the instructor puts. We did not want to be that. We wanted it to be, this is the expectations, this is what you should do. It is up to you to use these resources. So how do we get the word out to our freshmen? Well, all of our freshmen were required to attend freshman orientation, and on the first day we give them a personalized folder with their major information stuff, and we put the handout or the advising syllabus in there. Now, at orientation, we do not have the time to actually go through the advising syllabus. So, in the beginning of the school year, after 2 or 3 weeks that they were there, we call them in for a one-on-one appointment with their advisor. And at that time, we go through the syllabus and go through everything that they need to know on their first semester in school. Now, there are different ways to disseminate. You just got to find what works for you. Email, newsletter, web page, social media, just plain handouts. Right now we're using plain handouts in freshman orientation, and we also put it on our Facebook page. We also put all of our degree plans and flow charts and everything like that on there. So the first form that is on that web page, the Facebook page, is the advising syllabus, so students can see it. So you just got to do what works for you. So basic steps. Don't reinvent the wheel. Go out there, find the syllabuses that are there. As an advising unit, go through, find what you like, don't like. Come to an agreement what your advising philosophy is. Put it together. Decide who it's going to be for, and put it out.